Hi, my name is Paul Shore and welcome back to The Street Speaks, a spontaneous speaker's corner for Montrealers. This week, Montrealers are speaking out about art and graffiti in public spaces. A member of the Hasidic Jewish community demystifies some of the stereotypes many of us must have towards his people, and others share stories of racism that continue to persist in some of our communities. Also ahead, I've invited local poet Jocelyn Townsend up onto the Street Speak soapbox, and of course, Skinny Bros, our house band, returns. What would our cities be like without art? I mean, really, would they be livable?
Humans are very adaptable. I'm sure it would be livable, but it wouldn't be a place I'd want to live, that's for sure.
Depending on the society, they're not going to stay like that for very long. I think people are already automatically looking for ornamentation in their life.
Honestly,
it'd be like, I don't know, sad, because people wouldn't be able to express themselves. If it's with spray can or chalk or whatever, paintbrush and acrylic paint, I don't know, people need to express. They need to have this space in their life where they can create and express themselves through creation and through art, basically.
And so I think to leave it natural is already a good idea, so we can see what the people might want to do on top.
If I think on a personal level, that just makes me happy to see like stuff or colors on the walls.
I think it'd be a very sad and kind of a suppression of the human spirit when you're not letting people express themselves. So I wouldn't want to see that anytime soon, that's for sure.
We would be all much more stressed out, I guess, if there wouldn't be any art and public art.
Because that's something you see every day, and I think like that brings creativity also to like not just have plain regular walls that doesn't that doesn't make anything spring out of your mind.
Yeah. Is this to beautify the city?
To beautify the city, and I think it makes art accessible to the people, and I think that's really important. People should have beautiful things in their lives.
And here's the thing about art, often you're getting one client holding the gate so that many clients can see it and many people, and that's hilarious. We're making pictures so lots of people can see it. Often it's one person that makes the decision, will it be seen by the many?
Especially if you look around in the city, what public art does is it kind of balances out like advertisement, which is like they're allowed to do it, to sell you things, put whatever image they want in your face to like whatever, just because they can buy the space.
Would you cover up all the advertising with graffiti?
And do all the metros. I mean, come on. Each one of those buggies should have a individual piece of artwork.
Yeah, I love how there are no big corporate sponsors for this festival. It's all community run, word of mouth. There's a real intimacy about it. So
Public art's important to balance the other side of it. Like if this is something that's just something somebody wanted to see in their own mind, put on a wall, not trying to get you to buy something. It's cool, yeah.
I'm proud to welcome back to the show the Street Speaks band, Skinny Bros. Fred, do you have a cell phone?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah?
A smartphone?
Yeah?
No, you have a smartphone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a smartphone, so
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
Is it a smartphone?
Yeah.
Do you have a smartphone?
No.
Do you have a cell phone?
Yes.
No, it's just an ordinary cell phone. I don't know how smart it is. It's smarter than me, but I'm working on it.
Do you have a smartphone?
I do.
Do you remember your life without a smartphone?
I do. It was.
How was it different?
It's a lot simpler, and I felt more free.
Do you have a phone, a cell phone?
No, I don't anymore. The only reason I was using it is for business. I was using it for school. I'm a single man. I don't have kids. The only time I need a cell phone is when I'm traveling. And then when I'm in Europe, I can always buy a disposable.
Do you remember your life before you had a smartphone?
I think so. If I didn't have to have a smartphone, I wouldn't.
How long have you had a smartphone?
1 year, less than a year.
Do you check your email the first thing you wake up?
Now I do. I used to do. Before I started business, I didn't.
Do you sleep next to your phone?
It's not far.
Is it the alarm clock? Is that it?
Yeah.
Do you sleep next to your phone?
Yeah, I don't. People have it in the bed, but it's my alarm clock, right? So.
Next to the bed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, on my table is an alarm clock.
Yeah.
You check your email when you wake up in the morning first thing and before you go to bed?
Yes. My email for work, and then I check my calendar of what I have to do that day.
Right away. First thing in the morning.
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you check your email and your Facebook when you wake up in the morning?
Yeah.
I try not to. I try to make coffee for my spouse, my wife, and then.
I check it throughout the day, so not like right before I go to bed, but usually when I wake up in the morning, I check it.
First thing?
No, not necessarily first thing. Just kind of like if I'm walking to work, I'm checking it, or like if I'm just like heading somewhere, I'm checking it. It's really convenient that way.
Has your life changed since you got a smartphone?
Yes.
Why do you say it that way?
I think there's a little bit of a shame, I think, of like the dependency of the phone. I'm aware that it's an addictive thing, but yeah, I just can't stop.
Why do you say it like that?
Because I remember a time when I didn't wake up thinking about all the things that I missed while I was sleeping.
Did you really miss anything? Is there anything that important?
And that's why I'm giving you the face. Is I wish I didn't have that feeling.
That's nice. You're very lucky to have found your passion.
Yeah, it's hard. I know not most people, I don't want to be pessimistic, but some people can't live off the thing they love and they have to do something they like to get money and then do the thing they love at night or on the weekends, but I can't. I really can't, so I'm gonna try and live for my passion.
That's so beautiful.
We'll see what happens.
Why? Do you know why you do what you do? Have you figured that out yet in your life?
I don't know, like, I'm still pretty young. I'm still trying to figure out what I like and what I don't like. But yeah, I think just, I get to do something that I love. And at the end of the day, I think that's what matters.
I didn't really want to go into the music business or plan to go into the music business, but I just kind of felt like when I looked at my other options, nothing was kind of as fun as that.
I'm excited and nervous. Dance is not an easy, it's not an easy career. It's a very fulfilling one. And to me, it's about artistic truth and being very honest about what you want to do.
It's important for me. It's part of my life, of my family life, of what I have lived through. So when I look back to the refugee, the difficulty they are facing, I want to tell about this experience. So, like, be colorblind. There is no politic in it. Just look at the fear they carry and just protect them. That is the message.
What's kept you painting?
I've been doing stadiums ever since I first went to one, and I never stopped drawing them.
Why stadiums?
A compulsive fascination that has no explanation. like jelly beans. I could be interested in ducks.
You can't always do what you want, and when the school I went to is really about like artistic integrity and like being truthful to everything that you want to do, but being selective can be hard when you want to find a job. So you have to do things that you wouldn't normally do, or you have to, well, not like bad things, but just like you can't always do what you want.
Do you find corporations appropriating street art a lot to sell products? Does that bother you?
Oh yeah, of course it bothers me, but it's
Why, of
the
course?
nature of the beast. That's what they're gonna do.
Well, they're going to take whatever they can because that's their job. And as artists, as soon as we put an idea out, it's there to be copied. We can't protect an idea from being paying homage. And when is something appropriation? And when is it a cultural diffusion?
Corporations are there to do that, and they're gonna do that forever.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me, and that's why I started doing like anti-corporate kind of art in the beginning, anyways.
We have a choice of saying yes or no, and judging by that. I'm not going to do a mural for a gun manufacturer, but I chew bubble gum, and so I might for a bubble gum company.
A lot of my friends ask me if I do like graffiti workshops in the place where I live. It's like a youth center.
Yeah, sure.
So, and I say no because I haven't been taught graffiti dans une structure.
So it never stopped. But the first gallery kind of thing happened when I did a storyboard for a film, and the person that helped me do it asked if I could put the storyboard into a gallery show.
You know, sometimes it's hard times. You have to struggle and like you gotta be better than the one was before and everything. So I tend not to, because to me, if they want to do graffiti, they can do it by their own.
And it was he who said, listen, I've never heard of anything as crazy as drawing lots of little stadiums and cities. You are insane. And he encouraged me to work for clients of his.
The big question is why?
Yeah, I think I needed something to do that was creative, not like a 9-to-5 job, and it's something that I own and something that you take pride in what you own and what you create, and I think that's very important. And I'm discovering that, So it's still a process, it's still a journey, but every day, you're learning what you like and what you don't like. And there's things that kind of reinforce and create that foundation of why you started in the first place. Yeah.
I'm proud to welcome to the Street Speak Soapbox, poet Jocelyn Townsend.
The womb is an ancient cave, engraved into our DNA. Saved for birth, has a priceless worth. Gold be told, here's where the iron dwells. It tells of the strength of an infinite shape, of a spherical crate of creation. This is to my next generation, our next generation. Your manifestation, my womanifestation, a love exhalation. Child, you are known. We see you. Believe in your light and do not fight, though others might try to persuade you. They've fallen astray, but you can bow and walk away. And child, I will not command you. I will not demand of you to take the upper hand. I will not protect you from yourself, or the thoughts the mind will spell, or the feelings that dwell in fear. Just trust as they appear. For you are clear, effervescent, phosphorescent. One will look at you and know you were birthed by the womb, broken to infinity to accept your divinity. You are me and I am you, and we are all things, alchemizing, rising in waves that fade. So when I fade from this form, know I'll be reborn. Love yourself as I would do. For you are of my iron sheath that bled you into being. And now I'm of my tomb, the nourisher of your womb. My tomb is an ancient shape that cycles through the Milky Way, saved for birth, has a priceless worth, where souls unfold and tellers tell. Here is where the ocean swells.
So you've been, we were raised in an Orthodox Jewish community by parents who were Orthodox.
I have 6 brothers who are all with the payas and the beard and everything.
Okay. Why don't you have that? Well, it was a choice, obviously. And you haven't been excommunicated by the community.
No, that was a personal choice.
Why?
I saw too much of do as I say, not as I do. Meaning that outside is only a vanity. But then again, they argue that they dress that way to make them distinguishable.
What sect?
We belong to the Satmar sect. Well, they live strictly by the Jewish guidelines as outlined by the scriptures. They are distinguished from all the other Hasidic communities in a way vis-a-vis their policies towards Israel. They're not involved politically, but they are opposed to the essential establishment of the State of Israel as a political entity.
What are some of the false impressions that people have?
People are under the impression that they don't have a formal education, that they are not prepared to face the business world and society in general, which is not true. That they take up too much space.
What do you mean?
People are saying the Jews take up too much space.
In the Mile End?
In general.
Okay.
People are buying up houses because they have children growing up and they will need them eventually. And they can't go live out on Papineau or they have to live in concentrations. People don't understand why we are so insular. In our laws actually exists that we are not allowed to drink wine that is not kosher. Now what's there in wine that is non-kosher? Wine is wine, it has no other ingredients. When you sit down to drink wine, you become socially involved and it can lead to assimilation.
People do leave the community.
Yes, they do, but they're trying their best to avoid it. It is, children grow up nowadays, they have their ears and their eyes and they see, and once they taste something, they want more. And that is the boogeyman. That's the one word they're all afraid of, that somebody falling away from the community.
I think the people here are much more, concentrated in cash.
But just in general, in terms of money, things are expensive. It's not hard to find true happiness. You don't need money to be super happy. You need money to live, right?
If you go from government to government, it's going to be the same. People don't love each other. People suffer from greed.
Yeah, it's your job to fix it. You got to do whatever you got to do. Don't take from us. And we're already doing our job. We're already working really hard. People suffering. I'm suffering. I'm going to school, working 2 jobs, full time, in the middle of the summer too. And it's hard. I'm trying to have fun, do things, but I got to keep all my money, and then I got to deal with all the bad things that surround me.
I think it all starts with our economy, and we're not especially inviting to big business and necessarily the enterprises that can bring jobs and bring a cash flow to our province. Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of that in the last 20 years.
The people them don't have work, and they envy each other for a little bit, and they shot each other for a little bit, and they break into places for a little. When survival is very important, and when you don't have job to eat, drink, sleep, you know how many people in Los Angeles sleeping on the street? God, oh my God.
And people want things, people have goals, ambitions, and dreams, and gets in the way, you know, sometimes. You're trying really hard, you just can't do it because you have this bill or this loan, or, you know, you can't afford your bus pass because you decide to put TV screens all over the metros and jack the price up twice, you know.
But the problem need jobs, because I don't have any job. If I don't have any job, I have nothing to eat, I have nowhere to sleep, and I'm still alive, and I see you surviving. Maybe I'm going to get you to take away what you have, you know. So, you know, it's wild.
And I know taxes are already super high in Quebec, but I think there's only 4 tax brackets right now. I kind of looked it up because I saw a lot of people protesting it. So maybe like going up to like 6, 7 tax brackets even. I think that'd be a pretty smart idea. But at the same time, it's pretty good. I don't have too many complaints.
Like, I'll get rid of all these fancy buses and those stupid flat screen TVs to have those old crappy buses, you know, and just pay a little bit less, you know. Some things are more important, you know. They should have asked the people, what would you rather do, pay a bit more taxes and pay more money on your bus pass and have all this cool stuff, or should we just shove it in your face and make you pay, you know?
So it trickles down, like we all feel it. There are less people to go out to eat in restaurants, to go out to bars. There's less tourism even, you know?
And I can't do anything about it. I have to just go and pay. I can yell and scream and give the guy a hard time about it, but in the end, it's all for nothing. Still have to pay that money. Still have to go to my job, you know?
It is a capitalist society. Sometimes they forget the values of morals and ethics, and also the inner tranquility, and also, let's say, a lot of mindfulness.
Do you get profiled ever?
No, rarely. Like I'd say never almost even. Yeah.
Do you get profiled a lot?
All the time. All the time. Like, the Montreal police.
Do you feel safe here?
Well, being a black guy, it have nothing to do with being a black guy, because I don't really like watch race and what's not, so I feel safe, yeah. I wouldn't say I wouldn't feel safe, but I feel safe here, you know.
Okay, it's just like, I have a late model car. You're gonna get stopped like 3-4 times a week.
Really?
Just say a routine check. Sir, do you own the car? Oh, nice car. You know, like, really. I was hoping that, like, as I got older, I'm in my 50s now, that things would have changed.
It's like one buddy here in Tim Hortons. He told me, you came here, you're Muslim, you make the country disgusting. And I tried to call the police, but the police doesn't come. 2 times, because I told them I wear hijab, and nobody came.
You gotta get more people from the island of Montreal becoming cops. Not from suburbia, not from these little small towns where they look at cops on TV and like, you know, like, here, it's not America. You know what I mean? We don't have the gun violence. You understand? Like, a cop can go through their whole career in Montreal and never fire a shot. So don't pretend it's that dangerous.
I had a friend recently who had a few of her bones broken by police officers here in Montreal. She actually attended a concert at the AMC, at the Bell Center. And coming out of it, the gentleman that she was with got into an altercation with the police officers. And her being the voice of reason, she said to him, it's okay, I'm gonna take care of everything. I'm gonna make sure your phone calls are taken care of, because this is not right what went on here.
Every day?
Basically, like, you know, you will be like, get a double check, like every time, you know, like they come out, like, you know. But I'm saying still, they're not the worst.
Do you feel nervous when the cops walk
You don't
by?
feel
Or
like
do you
they're
feel
your
safe?
friends. You don't feel like, you know, you feel like it's them against us, and like, you know.
The officer said, no, you're not going anywhere, and then they began to beat her up. They twisted her arm in such a fashion that they ended up breaking certain bones. She had to have surgery. Right now she's in recovery. They could have verbally told her to just go about her business rather than hitting her or touching her in any way, because she did not put her hands on them. So no, I don't feel safe. I do not like police officers. They give me the heebie-jeebies and I don't trust them.
You tell them you're in your 50s, you get profiled every day,
Yeah.
you're a law-abiding citizen,
Yeah.
I'm assuming,
Yeah.
for the most
Good
part.
point, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I ain't no
And so-
saint, but you know what I mean? Like, hey,
Yeah.
I have a job.
If you were the mayor,
You know?
what would you do to change the city? If you had to give you all this power?
Instead of like wasting time going down in Victoria and like stalking out the block to see like, oh my God, what's going on here? Like, there's all kinds of different, like, look at that poor lady who got hurt in Côte St. Luc. Spread out, you know what I mean? Like, it's not only the immigrants that's committing crime.
I find a lot of officers feel that what they do is right, and I feel like they think that they exercise the law properly and adequately, and it's not. And I don't feel safe around them even voicing my own opinion, because I feel like at this point, even your words get you in trouble here. It's a dangerous game because they are the law at the end of the day.
That wraps up another edition of The Street Speaks. Thank you, Montrealers, for sharing, and thank you for watching. A special thank you to Skinny Bros and to poet Jocelyn Townsend, who graced our soapbox. If you want to get in touch with me, don't be shy. I'll be filming again very, very soon, and I can be reached at thestreetspeaks514@gmail.com, and you can also reach us on Facebook and Twitter. Join me next week as Montreal First Nations are speaking out about what we can truly do to address reconciliation. Others share stories of their changing relationship with religion, and others share concrete steps on how we can all better engage in our communities and our politics. I've also invited Kira Shaughnessy, singer-songwriter, back up onto the soapbox. See you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can you just look into the camera and say, my name is your name, and you are watching The Street Speaks.
Hi, I'm Kali Schrouder, and you are watching The Street Speaks.